But just when they were about to leave the room, something unexpected happened. Bees started coming out of the calabash. They were stinging them. They ran out all the way to the village square and right there in front of everyone, including Mina Laney's mother, started confessing. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by lush green hills and fields of maize, there lived a girl named Mina. She had been deaf and mute since she was born. Mina's life was hard. Her father died in a big fire incident long ago. People blamed Mina for her father's death because she was the one cooking the night that their house got ablaze, but no one really knew what happened. Mina lived with her stepmother and stepsister Lainey. They had a big farmland left by Mina's father with rows of yams, cassava, and vegetables growing under the warm sun. They lived well, but Mina didn't. She had to do small jobs every day. Mina worked hard. She fetched water for people in the village, washed their clothes by the stream, and did more jobs just to get money to feed herself because her stepmother wouldn't cater for her. Despite all this hard work, when Mina came back home in the evening, she still had to cook for her stepmother and Lanny. They just sat on the veranda sipping tea, happy to be taking advantage of Mina's disabilities. Mina couldn't say anything. She couldn't hear or speak, but she was kind and did her work. Sometimes when Mina went to the village, people looked at her. Some felt sorry for her. They knew she was a good girl, but some believed she caused the fire. They whispered when she passed by, but poor Mina couldn't defend herself because no one could understand her. After all, she couldn't speak. The whispers felt like heavy stones, but Mina kept her head up and walked with quiet dignity. One night, Mina had a dream. She saw the night of the fire. There was a shadow near the house, but it was hard to see who it was. This dream came to Mina, often haunting her with the same blurred images. It was like a puzzle she couldn't solve. Mina's life was not easy, but she didn't give up. She was strong and kind. Even with all the hard work and how people treated her, she kept going. Mina hoped that one day things would get better. One day, Mina and her stepsister Lani went to the stream. They needed to fetch water. The stream was where everyone in the village got their water, so it was a busy place with people coming and going. The sound of water splashing and children playing filled the air. At the stream, they saw an old woman. She was trying to lift a heavy calabash full of water. It looked too heavy for her. Lainey saw the woman, but didn't want to help. She just wanted to get her water and go back home. But Mina was different. She saw the old woman struggling and felt sorry for her. Mina went to the woman to help. She didn't think twice about it. She took the heavy calabash from the old woman, her small hands gripping the slippery gourd tightly. Lainey was not happy. She told Mina they didn't have time for this and that. If they got home late, she would tell her mother that Mina was playing in the stream. But Mina, who couldn't hear, didn't listen. She proceeded to help the woman. The old woman was so thankful. She smiled at Mina, her wrinkled face lighting up like the morning sun. Mina felt happy she could help. The old woman then told Mina something special. Using her hands to communicate with Mina, she said the calabash was magical. It could grant wishes. Mina didn't believe it at first, but the woman insisted. She gave the calabash to Mina as a gift for her kindness. Mina didn't know what to say. She just held the calabash looking at it, its smooth surface gleaming under the sunlight. The old woman then told her that when she is alone, she should open the calabash and make a wish. Anything she wished for, she would get. Mina thought about it, but before she could say anything, the woman was gone. It was like she vanished into thin air, leaving behind only the faint scent of jasmine. Mina went back home with Lani. She carried the magical calabash carefully, like it was a fragile treasure. Lani was curious about it. She asked Mina what the old woman said, but Mina couldn't tell her. She couldn't speak. She just showed Lani the calabash and smiled. Lani got more curious. She didn't understand why the old woman gave Mina the calabash, but Mina couldn't explain. She just had a feeling that this calabash was important. When they got home, Lani told her mother everything. She spoke fast, her eyes bright with excitement. She said Mama Mina got a calabash. It was given to her by an old woman at the stream. Her mother's eyes grew wide. She started to smile, a sly grin spreading across her face. They both thought of the same thing. They wanted that calabash. Mina came home later. She had the calabash with her. She was quiet like always, but she had a small smile. She felt happy about the calabash. She didn't know Lani had told their mother. Lani and her mother waited. When Mina put down the calabash, they took it. They were fast. Mina turned around and the calabash was gone. She saw Lani and her mother with it. Then her stepmother asked, "Where did you get this beautiful calabash? And what is its purpose? And what is its purpose?" Mina's heart started to race. She felt sad and afraid. She wanted to cry, but she didn't. She knew if she didn't tell the truth, her stepmother would beat her. So she explained using sign language with her hands. "It is a magical calabash. I got it from an old woman at the stream. It can grant wishes." Eager to make use of the magical calabash for themselves, Lani and her mother went to their room. They were excited. They opened the calabash, its surface gleaming faintly under the dim oil lamp. They wished for money, jewels, and many things, but nothing happened. They tried again. Still nothing. They exchanged confused glances and grew really mad. The room grew eerily silent, except for the faint rustle of the evening wind outside. They didn't understand what was going on. But just when they were about to leave the room, something unexpected happened. A low buzzing sound grew louder and louder. Bees started coming out of the calabash. They were stinging them. They screamed, dropping the calabash, and ran out all the way to the village square. And right there, in front of everyone, including Mina, Lani's mother, started confessing. Her voice cracked as she admitted I was the one who set the house on fire when Mina's father died. Gasps spread through the crowd. She continued, "I was behind Mina's mother's death too. And I was the one who made Mina deaf and mute when she was born." Her voice trembled. "I used a charm from an herbalist." The villagers murmured in shocked disbelief, etched on their faces. Mina stood there sad, crying silently. But what nobody knew was Mina had already opened the calabash before she got home. Right after she left the old woman, she whispered her wish into it, a wish to be able to speak and hear. The memory of her quiet prayer to the calabash played in her mind. And then, in front of everyone, Mina started to speak. Her voice was clear, startlingly so. Her words were perfect, every syllable falling like soft raindrops on thirsty soil. The villagers couldn't believe their ears. Her stepmother and Lainey were frozen in shock, their faces pale. The villagers listened to Mina, their eyes wide. They were surprised, some couldn't believe what they were hearing. Mina stood there talking to everyone. Her hands trembled slightly, but her words flowed with strength. She told them all about the years of mean treatment she got from her stepmother. Her words were touching, and the villagers listened intently. They could see her pain. They could see her pain. They could feel it. Her stepmother and Lainey, they were ashamed, standing there with everyone looking at them, judgment heavy in the air. Mina's time had come. She felt sad but also relieved. She had been quiet for so long. Now she was speaking out. She told them everything. She told the villagers about her stepmother's cruelty. Her words flowed like a river that had been held back for too long, rushing and unrelenting. The villagers were angry at the stepmother and Lainey. They wanted justice. They supported Mina. They said they would help her. They would make things right. Mina's stepmother and Lainey were taken away. They would face the village elders. Mina stood there surrounded by the villagers. They were cheering for her. Some women came forward and hugged her, whispering their apologies. They said sorry for not believing her before. Mina felt a weight lift off her. She had been alone for so long, but now she had the whole village with her. It was a moment of vindication for Mina. After years of silence and suffering, she was finally heard and believed. Her wish to speak and hear had not only given her a voice, but had also unveiled the truth, liberating her from the chains of lies and deceit. You see, this story teaches us that no matter how difficult the circumstances, inner goodness and truth will always prevail. It also highlights the importance of not judging others based on appearances or disabilities. This story teaches us a powerful lesson about the strength of kindness, patience, and truth. Despite Mina's hardships and the cruelty she faced, her pure heart and perseverance ultimately revealed the truth and brought justice. It reminds us never to judge others based on appearances, disabilities, or rumors, as everyone carries their own story and deserves compassion. The story also shows that while justice may be delayed, it will always prevail when truth and goodness are on your side. Thank you for watching my channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating and inspiring stories. Stay tuned for more amazing videos filled with lessons and entertainment. See you in the next one. A long time ago in the village of Akia, there was a maiden named Amma who was the first daughter of Chief Adu. Unlike her younger sister, Ajua, Amma had no friends or suitors. No one wanted to be associated with her because of her bow head. Even her parents disliked her and cherished her younger sister. Right from her childhood days, Amma's mother preferred to lock her in whenever she had an outing to attend. During various village festivals, Amma's parents would buy new attires for everyone in their household except Amma. Her father would say, "With what head would you show off these beautiful clothes and beads? Amma, just stay home and feed the goats." Amma grew up in a community that hated her for a condition that wasn't her fault. This condition, known as alopecia in the modern world, made the villagers see her as a curse and avoid her at all costs. They believed that her baldness was a sign of bad luck and that anyone who associated with her would suffer the same fate. Wherever she went in the village, people would mock her. "She's so ugly, she must be a witch. She sucks blood for survival," they would say. These and more horrible words were said to Amma by the villagers. Amma grew up with a damaged self-esteem. She was unloved, so she had no love to give. The only good thing that gave her peace was her voice. Oh, her singing was like that of a diva. Whenever she felt sad or hurt by the mockery from the people, Amma would quietly find a spot near the Ioko tree and sing her heart out. Her voice was like a sweet melody, enchanting and captivating. Whenever she sang, the birds would stop chirping and the wind would cease to blow as if in awe of her talent. Sometimes a few curious children would sneak closer to listen, but they would run away before Amma noticed. But unfortunately, even her beautiful voice couldn't earn her the love and acceptance of her fellow villagers. Even the adults in the village would avoid her as if her condition was contagious. Amma longed to have friends and be accepted by her peers. She dreamed of one day finding true love and starting a family, but she knew that this would never be possible with her current appearance. So, she made a decision. She would pack her things and head to another village to start a new life away from this group of people that hated her. It sounded so much like a good idea to her, and she immediately went into the house to start packing. Little did she know what was about to happen to her. Late into the night, Amma started heading towards the forest to begin her journey. She trekked for long hours, and at a point she needed to stop and rest. In the forest, she was about to take a seat on the ground when she noticed a hut. Happily, she approached the hut with the thought of resting a little in it, till dawn, unknowing to Amma that the old popular and powerful witch who lived on the outskirts of the village owned this hut. As she opened the door, the witch peered out at Amma with her piercing eyes. "What do you want, child?" the witch asked. Amma was startled and almost lost her balance. She immediately recognized the witch because of her green eyes and yellow lips. Her father had told her scary tales of the witch when she was young. Amma quivered with fear and remembered her father's words. The witch was known to have powerful magic and was rumored to be able to grant any wish. Her father had told her this. There and then, Amma decided that the heavens had sent her a solution to all her problems. She thought to herself, maybe she will grant my wish of having hair. I can finally have suitors. I will become beautiful. This and more thoughts crept into Amma's mind. Her fear disappeared, and she had a big, happy face. The witch asked in a croaky voice again, "What do you need from me, child?" Amma instantly explained her wish to the witch, begging for her to help make hair grow on her head. The witch nodded and told Amma that she could grant her wish, but there would be a price to pay. Desperate to change her appearance, Amma agreed without hesitation. The witch handed Amma a potion and told her to drink it before the next sunrise. Amma decided to head back home since her story was about to change for the better. So she journeyed back to the village, and at dawn she reached home safely. Quickly, Amma drank the potion, then went to bed with a sense of excitement and anticipation. The next morning, Amma woke up and ran to the mirror, hoping to see a head full of beautiful hair. But to her horror, she saw that her hair had grown, but it was long and stringy, and it looked more like vines than hair. Filled with regret, Amma went to confront the witch. But when she reached the witch's hut, she found that the witch was gone, leaving behind only a note that read, "I am the key to unlock your heart. Embracing flaws is where I start. In loving myself, I find the key to true happiness and being free. Amma soon discovered that her new hair had a life of its own. It would move and writhe like snakes. The villagers were now even more afraid of her and avoided her even more. They thought she had become a monster. Even Amma's parents were also terrified of her and refused to let her into their home. She was forced to live in a small abandoned cottage at the edge of the village. She would spend her days in loneliness and despair, regretting her decision to seek the witch's help. At night, her hair would glow faintly, casting eerie shadows in her small rundown home. She would often sit by a dimly lit oil lamp, tracing the words of the witch's note and wondering how she could ever find peace again. Years went by, and Amma's hair continued to grow longer and more uncontrollable. She became known as the witch's cursed girl, and no one dared to come near her. Her house was on the outskirts of the village, surrounded by wildflowers and towering trees, making her isolation even more pronounced. Until one fortunate morning, a handsome musician called Kwami visited Amma's village to perform at festivals. After his performance, he decided to visit the popular Amma and see her vine like hair for himself. On getting to her house, he knocked on Amma's door. Amma was shocked to know someone was in the compound, and with so much confusion, she asked what might that be, animal or human. Kwame answered, saying, "My name is Kwame. Please, may I come in?" Amma rushed outside with her vine-like hair swaying behind her. She was immediately shocked to see a very handsome and elegant-looking man before her, his smile radiant like the morning sun. She asked why he had come to see her, and Kwam explained he had heard so much about her and wanted to see her in person. He said he found her fascinating and even more beautiful than it was told, and so their friendship began. Kwame would come almost every day to see Amma, often bringing his guitar to play soothing melodies for her. Amma, in turn, would always prepare delicious meals before his arrival. This went on for months before one afternoon, on one of Kwame's visits, feeling close enough to Amma, Kwame decided to encourage her to embrace her, to encourage her to embrace herself. He told her how beautiful she looked and how anyone would be so lucky to be her friend. Amma laughed out loud. Amma laughed out loud and said, "Kwame, you don't have to lie. Why would anyone like a tree-headed person like me?" Kwame replied, saying, "Anyone would like a tree head because it is your tree head, Amma. Tree heads look charming because it is on you, Amma. Anything Amma has is just perfect." With tears rolling down her face, Amma was filled with so much emotion because no one had ever said such beautiful words to her, not even her parents. After they had this conversation, Kwame and Amma headed into the village. Immediately, the villagers saw her and they started whispering and gossiping as usual. "What is the witch doing here?" some said. Amma heard their mean words and wanted to run back to her house, but Kwame held her and encouraged her to keep walking. "You have to face your fears," Kwame said to Amma. "For how long will you keep hiding in the forest? Let it end today, and don't worry, I will hold your hand through it all." With these words of motivation, Amma gained the confidence to keep walking, and before she knew it, they had visited every corner of the village and even went to the market to get food ingredients. They returned to Amma's house and prepared pounded yam and vegetable soup. They enjoyed the hot meal under the beautiful night sky, the stars twinkling above them like diamonds. After their meal, she thanked Kwam for helping her overcome this fear. For weeks, they kept going into the village together, with Amma feeling less and less ashamed of herself. One morning, Kwame came around to go into the village with Amma, like they usually did, but Amma stopped him and said, "I would like to go into the village alone today." Kwame was so happy to hear this and promised her he would prepare the best Aussie soup for her before she got back. Amma walked into the village with so much confidence. She greeted the gossips, visited the village square, and planted her vine-like hair with so much pride. The marketplace was bustling with energy, and she even stopped to chat with a trader selling colorful beads. Before returning to her house, she stopped by the market to get her friend Kwam a new Ankara fabric. She felt so free for the first time in her life. She felt light and happy. She felt light and happy. She wondered why she hadn't seen the beauty in her situation before. Kwam, she thought, must be an angel sent by God, Amma said to herself, giggling hard. She returned to her house on the outskirts of the village, and as promised, Kwame had prepared a big bowl of delicious Aussie soup. As she sat down to eat, she told Kwame about everything that happened in the village. They both laughed at each other's jokes and ended their meal with a glass of palm wine. The following morning, Amma had a dream. In the dream, she saw the note the witch had left her. "I am the key to unlock your heart. Embracing flaws is where I start. In loving myself, I find the key to true happiness and being free." She was confused before something suddenly clicked. I was being punished for not loving myself. There is beauty in being different and unique, but by not loving myself for being bold, I was given a worse look. Amma vowed after this to embrace her uniqueness. She analyzed and understood the witch's note to her. She went to get a bathing sponge when she suddenly gazed at the mirror. She screamed after seeing that her head was back to being bald. "I solved the riddle! I solved the riddle!" she screamed happily. Amma's bald head had returned because she finally accepted herself for who she was. With the help of her friend, Kwam, the spell was broken with self. Love was broken with self. Love. Later that evening, Kwame visited Amma as usual. Amma, with her heart full of joy, was so delighted to tell him she solved the riddle. Immediately Kwame saw her, he noticed her bald head. He hugged her tightly with a big smile and then kissed her so passionately. Amma looked at him with so much shock in her eyes. The story of Amma teaches us a valuable lesson. Self-acceptance and self-love are the keys to true happiness. Throughout her journey, Amma struggled with her identity and sought external solutions to feel accepted. However, the turning point in her life came when she embraced her uniqueness, understanding that being different is not a curse but a beautiful gift. Her story reminds us that our flaws do not define us, instead, they make us unique and special. The unconditional support from Kwame also highlights the importance of genuine friendship and encouragement in helping others recognize their worth. Let us remember to be kind not only to ourselves, but also to others, as everyone is fighting battles we may not see. Thank you for watching my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring and thought-provoking content. Stay tuned for more interesting videos on this channel. See you next time. It is often said that a mother's love for her daughter is a silent guardian, always watching over her well-being, guiding her through life's storms. Is that the case in Auntie D's story? Let's find out. Darlene, popularly called Auntie D, is the owner of a well-known restaurant in the vibrant city. The restaurant had a vibrant city. The restaurant had a vibrant signboard that read Did's Delight and had wooden chairs and tables arranged neatly for customers. She was a mother of three daughters and ran this restaurant, Dee's Delight, which was famous for its mouth-watering dishes and assorted meats. Two of her daughters, Mabel and Clara, had finished their secondary school, while Ruth, who is the youngest, was still in secondary school. The restaurant was the family's sole source of income, and Auntie D left no stone unturned in making sure her customers were always satisfied. The restaurant was always opened from morning till night, with the aromatic smell of grilled meat and spices wafting through the air, providing services from breakfast to dinner. To keep her business thriving, Auntie D resorted to a variety of tactics, the most notorious of which was her special service, as she always called it, that attracted numerous male customers. Men frequented her restaurant not only for the delicious meals, but also for the chance to spend the night with either of her elder daughters for a price. This secret service provided the family with substantial additional income, and Auntie D was very strict with her daughters about it. At first, when the daughters finished secondary school, they weren't happy with what their mom was introducing them to. And they told their mom, we don't like this. We want to go to school. My sister wants to be a lawyer, and I want to be a medical doctor. Now that we are through with school, we want to go to the university. Auntie D would always shout at her daughters, saying, how can you say you want to go to the university? I have tried my best in training you down to secondary school level. Is this not selfishness? You want me to keep spending money on your education when your father, who is supposed to be taking care of you, ran away when you were just 10 years old? I have tried my best. You are through with secondary school, so now is the time for you to start supporting my business. The eldest daughter would say to her mom, Mama, we can support your business by helping you cook and serve customers, not selling our bodies for money. Auntie D would not give an ear to that at all. It got to a time where she started starving her daughters at home because they refused to succumb to her request of satisfying her male customers, because they didn't want to be stubborn children or go against their mother's requests. They decided to do exactly what their mother said. Auntie D started using her daughters as business tools, counting money every morning in her small bedroom that had a single old chest for storing cash, because whenever the daughters returned from the male customers' houses, they always came back with huge amounts of money. She counted this money with so much joy, forgetting the dangers she was putting her daughters through or the possible sickness or disease the daughters were likely to get. Dear viewers, are there really mothers like this? Have you heard a story or come across a mother like this? Well, let's keep listening to this story. Most people believe the success of Auntie D's Delight was due to the exquisite food she made, unaware that the daughters' nightly company played a significant role. The daughters, appearing to relish their interactions with the customers every night, sometimes encouraged them to drink excessively and then took advantage of their intoxicated states to steal from them. Auntie D always encouraged her daughters to keep doing what they were doing. She always praised them. Ah, these are my daughters. You are making so much money for your mother. Don't worry. Tomorrow I will buy you beautiful clothes, beautiful and attractive ones. And I'll buy you some more hair and makeup so you can look more attractive. Thank you, my daughters. Can't you see we are making so much money? You know your mother will not deceive you. We are making money, and that is all that matters." The children would reluctantly nod in agreement to what their mother was saying, and they continued this lifestyle for a very long time, forgetting the fact that they wanted to go to school. Ruth, the youngest daughter of Auntie D, saw everything going on, and she said to her sisters, "Sisters, I don't like this lifestyle you people are living. No, I'm not going to do this when I'm done with secondary school." Not knowing her mother overheard what Ruth was saying. She shouted from the background, "Will you keep quiet? What do you mean by you don't like what they are doing? The money you have been feeding with and wearing good clothes with, you think I'm picking the money from the ground? Finish your secondary school and join your sisters. I don't have daughters for nothing. You have to work for the money." Ruth said, "Mama, I don't think I'm going to do this." Auntie D yelled at Ruth, and she yelled at Ruth, and she angrily left the house that evening. One evening, while Auntie D and her daughters were attending to customers, a luxurious car parked in front of the restaurant, its shiny black paint reflecting the city lights. Auntie D and her daughters were astonished. Auntie D and her daughters were astonished. They had never seen such a wealthy customer before. A man in his mid-50s stepped out of the car, dressed in an expensive suit, and Auntie D wondered if he was lost. To her surprise, he walked in and requested a menu. Auntie D quietly said to her daughter, "This man seems very wealthy. Opportunities like this are rare. Do whatever it takes to make him want to stay with you tonight. If he becomes a regular customer, we will make a lot of money." Her daughter responded with a smile, "Don't worry, Mama. I've got this under control. He will be captivated by me," Clara assured her mother. Clara prepared the food with a confident smile, sprinkling some extra spices she reserved for special customers. She served the man. "Here is your order, sir. And there's something extra that can help with digestion if you are interested," Clara said softly. Fleur said softly, flirting. The man focused more on her than the food. The man ate his meal, and after the meal, he approached Auntie D and her daughters to settle the bill. He handed Clara a generous sum of money. "I know this is more than what I owe, but consider it a token of appreciating your beauty. I will come back tomorrow. Then I will take the extra digestion you said." Clara understood with a smile and responded to the man, "Don't worry, sir. I'll be here tomorrow night, waiting for you." Auntie D was very excited about the huge amount of money this customer gave to Clara, and she said to Clara, "Ah, Clara, you have to make sure you work hard when you follow him home tomorrow. This customer is rich," Clara said. "Mama, don't worry. You know I always make you proud." The next day, Clara was feeling an unease in her spirit, and she said to her mother, "Mama, I don't think I will follow that man home this night. I'm having an uneasy feeling about him." "Don't worry, Mama. Maybe some other time I'll follow another customer," Auntie D yelled back at Clara. "You dare not say that. Ever since we started this business, this is the richest customer so far. How can you say you don't want to follow him this night when he comes?" "Clara, I don't want to hear that. You better follow the man when he comes back." Claire responded, "Mama, please. Anytime I think of the man coming to pick me this evening, my spirit is always not accepting it. My heart is always skipping. Let's just let go of this man." Auntie D was not ready to listen to whatever her daughter was saying, and she said, "Clara, you must follow this man, and that is final." Because Clara wanted to respect her mother as usual, She reluctantly agreed to follow the men. That evening, the elderly man arrived with his luxurious car as usual, and he went straight to Auntie D, addressing her directly. "I would like to spend some days in my house with your daughter." Auntie D was like, "Days? That will cost you a lot of money." And the man said, "No problem. I have the money. I will pay as much as you want and even more." Auntie D, upon hearing that, agreed to his bidding without thinking twice. Who was this mysterious man? Was Clara's life in danger? Auntie D did not think of any of that. She pushed her daughter Clara into the man's car, telling her to make sure she behaves very well so they can get more money, and the man left with Clara. Auntie D did not suspect anything because the man already told her that Clara was going to be spending a lot of days with him. The next day, Mabel, Auntie D's other daughter, walked up to her mother and said, "Mama, did you bother to call Clara to know if she arrived well or if she's okay where she is?" Auntie D replied, "Don't worry, Mabel. The man will take care of her." Mabel said to her mother, "Mama, I think I'm pregnant. Please, Mama, what do I do?" Auntie D said, "What? You can't say that. How can you be pregnant? How are we going to make more money if you get pregnant? How are we going to make more money if you get pregnant? My friend, you better look for what to do with that. Don't tell me that kind of thing again." And she chased Mabel out of her presence, asking her to do whatever it takes to make sure they make more money, not getting pregnant. A few days later, Auntie D was sitting in her restaurant when she received a call from a stranger that her daughter, Mabel, was at the hospital and that she should run along to the hospital. When Auntie D got to the hospital, she saw her daughter's lifeless body lying on the floor, and she asked the doctor, "Doctor, what happened to my daughter?" The doctor responded, "Madam, she attempted to get rid of a pregnancy, and this is what the result turned out to be." Auntie D started crying. "Oh no! I have led my daughter into killing herself. What do I do?" Just as she was walking out of the hospital, she saw where a crowd had gathered. She wondered why the crowd was there. As she walked to the crowd to see what was going on, she saw her daughter's body, Clara, also on the floor. The crowd said a car came to drop Clara's lifeless body on the floor, that they had used Clara for ritual purposes. Auntie D was shattered. She was heartbroken. She had lost her two daughters in one day. She cried uncontrollably and blamed herself for everything. She said, "Oh no, I have killed my daughters with my own hands. Oh no!" She kept on crying. That was when it dawned on Auntie D that she had made a very big mistake. She said, "I have failed my daughters as a mother. All I wanted was for them to have the best life, to have enough money. All the money they've been giving to me, I've been saving it for them. I guess I chose the wrong decision by sending them out. Oh no!" And she cried. Ruth, the last daughter, upon hearing what had happened, was very angry with her mother. She said to her, "Mama, I told you we don't need to sell ourselves. There are better ways to succeed," she said, and Auntie D apologized to Ruth. "Please forgive me, my daughter. Everything I did was for you and your sisters. I didn't know it would turn out like this." And Auntie D closed down her restaurant completely and looked for other ways she could make money. After losing her two daughters, she wasn't ready to continue with that line of business again, and she focused more on taking Ruth through her education and became the better mother that she was supposed to be in the first place. Auntie D lived in regret for the rest of her life. This taught Auntie D valuable lessons about integrity, hard work, and the importance of making ethical choices. She learned that true success comes from honest efforts and that it is never too late to change one's path. This story teaches us a profound lesson. Taking shortcuts to success, especially